building purposeful habits. So, in the previous clip, I discussed the importance of pausing and recognizing our habits and noticing what's working and what's not, especially in times of challenges. And when you did your practice for the previous lesson, what did you notice? Did you have habits that you wanted to reinforce or make stronger? Did you notice having mindless habits that are not useful for you or for other people and wish to eliminate? In what ways do you feel stuck in your autopilot? Now, this lesson is going to focus on further developing the skill of awareness to change habits that are not working, especially in times of challenges. So, one of the reasons why we continue to engage in behaviors that are not helpful for us is because these behaviors have become automatic for us. So, how can we change our automatic behavior? By increasing awareness. So, what's this awareness business? Awareness is like creating a pause between a situation, like getting grounded by your parents, or getting stomachache, or getting 100% on your test, and your reaction to that situation. So, this pause is like taking a break before you react to the situations that show up. So, in the pause between the situation and your reaction, what do? You ask yourself questions like, what's going on? What do I feel? What am I about to do? And what's important and needed? So, for instance, if you receive an insult from a friend, then maybe your automatic reaction may be to shout back. That's your tendency. But before reacting to it, you can pause with an awareness and ask yourself, what's going on? I'm getting really angry. What am I feeling? I feel tension in my chest. What am I about to do? Well, I want to hurt the other person. And what's important and needed? Well, I need time to cool down. So, with this pause, you can actually create choices in your reaction, including shouting back or saying your insult back to that person or walking away. Now, while your automatic reaction may be to shout back, with this pause, your reaction can turn into a response that is a conscious choice based on what's important and needed. So, based on our response to the questions that we asked, perhaps the conscious response may become walking away instead of shouting back. So, how can we increase this awareness in our life? One of the fundamental ways is by engaging in a mindfulness practice. Now, you might have heard this word mindfulness practice before in your life. Now, there are many things that can be included in this mindfulness practice, but essentially, a mindfulness practice consists of three elements. First, there is an element of attention. It's about paying attention to what's happening in the moment on purpose. So sometimes you'll be paying attention to your breath flowing in and out. And in a body scan, you'll be paying attention to the different parts of your body, part by part, in that moment. Now, the second element of mindfulness is acceptance. It's about accepting your current experience as it is. So, whatever physical or emotional experience you're having, it's about accepting that. And that third element of mindfulness is choice. Now, this is an element that's not usually in the formal definition of mindfulness, but I include it because I think it's very important. It's about connecting to what's important and needed with a full acceptance of the current experiences. So, to understand what these elements are a little bit more, I'm going to walk you through a simple mindfulness practice right now. Now, at this point, I'm going to invite you to put your feet flat on the floor and sit up straight. With the next in breath, roll your shoulders up and back. And with an out breath, roll it down. I invite you to close your eyes. or to look downward with a soft gaze. Take a couple of breaths in and out and settle into your body. Now bring your attention to your breath, flowing in through your nose and out through your nose. Sometimes it helps to bring your attention to the skin of your nostrils, the sensations you feel there as your breath brushes against it, as you breathe in and out. Now I'm going to invite you to shift your attention to the chest area or your belly area. And notice whatever sensation you might be experiencing there. Might be a little bit of tightness. For some of you, might be feeling a little pain in some areas. Notice whatever sensations you're experiencing and accept them fully. With those physical sensations, see if you can also notice whatever emotions you might be experiencing right now in this moment. It could be boredom, it could be some tiredness, it could be some curiosity. Again, whatever emotions you're experiencing, see if you can fully accept them as your current experience. Now, with a full acceptance of your emotional and your physical experiences, see if you can bring your attention to what's important for you right now, for yourself and for others. Maybe bringing your attention back to what your intention was when you first started watching this video could help you focus your attention on what's important for you now. And set an intention for how you wish to be for yourself and for others after you're done watching this video. So take a deep breath in and breathe in that intention. And take a deep breath out and release. Take a deep breath in again, breathing that intention, and follow that with a long breath out. And when you're ready, you can gently blink your eyes open. So, what was that practice like for you? You might have noticed that there were 3 elements to that practice. There was attention to your breath, there's acceptance of your current experience, and there's a choice that you were to make in that moment, focusing your attention on what's important for you in that moment. So, life. Life consists of what shows up and how you respond to them. What shows up includes things that happen outside of you, like the situations and people who show up in your life. It also includes the things that happen within you, like your thoughts and your emotions. Now, how you respond to them are your reactions to the things that show up. So, for example, if someone important to you passes away, this is a situation. And you may respond to the situation by trapping yourself away in a room or burying yourself into schoolwork to not experience the loneliness that shows up, or connecting with as many people as possible. Now, what shows up is often outside of your control and your responsibility, but how you respond to what shows up is fully within your control and it's entirely your responsibility. So, how do you take more control of your response so that this is not just an automatic reaction, but it reflects more of what's needed and what's important for yourself and others, even in times of challenges? So, as we discussed before, it happens with the cultivation of awareness. And in this awareness, you pause and ask yourself, what's happening? How do I feel? What's important? And what's needed? So, with this awareness, how we respond becomes our choice. This is why how we respond is within our control and it is entirely our responsibility. Now, do you know this man? Well, his name is Viktor Frankl, and he's the author of the book Man's Search for Meaning, which has been translated to 24 different languages. Now, in this book, he describes his experience in a concentration camp during Holocaust. Now, during this time, both of his parents and his wife were taken away from him and either perished or were exterminated. His profession as a psychiatrist was stripped away, and he was brought down to working on immensely hard labor during the harshest conditions. As he was surrounded by disease, starvation, brutality, and deaths of his peers on a day to day basis, and the things that were important to him were all taken away from him, he had to actually create a meaning for living to will himself to live. He realized that in the most challenging conditions, which he had no control over, he had to take hold of how he responded to them through connecting with what's important for him and acting accordingly. Now, when he created within himself the meaning for his life, a purpose, no one could take that away from him, and in turn, he was free. Now, Viktor Frankl said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. The stimulus that he speaks of is what shows up, and the response is how we respond. We can choose our response and not only resort to what's easy, comfortable, or habitual, even when we feel all these feelings of discomfort during challenging times. What's important to know is that we can change mindless habits that are not useful, that we have built over weeks or months or even years, to create habits that align with what's important and what's needed, especially in moments of difficulty. And it starts by practicing awareness. Now, I'm going to wrap up by sharing with you a poem called Autobiography in 5 Chapters by Portia Nelson. This poem hopefully reinforces what this lesson was about. 1. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm hopeless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. 2. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. 4. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. 5. I walk down another street. Now, your practice for this lesson is to start cultivating awareness, which is noticing a deep hole in the sidewalk and making a conscious choice to respond purposefully to it by engaging in a mindfulness practice. I'm introducing a couple of methods here, although there are many different ways to practice mindfulness. I invite you to openly engage with these practices and practice them daily for at least a couple of weeks. And if they don't work for you, you can just let me know, and I'm happy to introduce other forms of mindfulness practices. So, best wishes to you.